At exactly 3:13 a.m., Ashley's heart pounded her awake. The silence in her bedroom felt heavier than sleep, the kind of silence that made your thoughts howl. She glanced at the time again, her third awakening that night. Doctors called it insomnia, but what no one explained was the quiet fear that built over months, a creeping erosion of her sanity, and what millions like her never knew. Sleep isn't just rest, it's survival. Every night, we sabotage it, unknowingly, with habits we inherited, routines that seem harmless, and whispers of science we never question. But what if the real enemy of sleep wasn't stress, or screens, or even caffeine, but something buried far deeper in our biology? The truth was hiding in plain sight, and once uncovered, it would unravel everything we thought we knew about falling asleep. It began in 1981, inside a cramped Stanford lab, where Dr. William Dement, the father of sleep science, made a startling discovery. For decades, the world believed that sleep was passive, a blank canvas of unconsciousness. But Dement observed something else, entirely waves of electrical storms sparking through the brain during dreamless sleep, as if some hidden architect was rebuilding the mind in silence. Patients like Ashley weren't just losing rest, they were losing nightly reconstruction, resilience, even emotional immunity. He called it the cleaning shift, a window when the brain flushed toxins and reset hormonal balance. But in less than a generation, something corrupted this sacred ritual, throwing our internal clocks into chaos. The culprit? A slow biological betrayal that began the day we embraced artificial light. The flick of a switch, the glow of a screen late into the night, what once lit our progress now dims our biology. Melatonin, the hormone that tells our body it's time to sleep, is crushed under the weight of LED light. Studies from Harvard confirmed it. Even a small tablet screen can delay melatonin release by up to 3 hours. But it's more than just timing. Without melatonin, our bodies continue producing cortisol, the stress hormone infamous for stirring restlessness and panic at night. Imagine inviting a fire alarm into your brain during its quietest hour. This silent war escalated with each passing decade. Night shifts, airport terminals lit like stadiums, 24/7 notifications dying to be seen, all rewired ancient patterns carved into us over millennia. And while some turn to melatonin pills for salvation, they rarely know it's a bandage, not a cure. Behind the shadows of sleepless nights, the architecture of nature's rhythm is breaking, and the next clue in this unraveling puzzle lies not in the brain, but in a forgotten nerve locked beneath our lungs. The vagus nerve. Most people have never heard of it, yet it governs the rhythm of rest like a hidden conductor behind the curtain. It stretches from the brainstem to the abdomen, touching the heart, lungs, and gut like a lifeline stitched through the body. When activated, it triggers the parasympathetic nervous system, the body's brake pedal, signaling calm and safety. But chronic stimulation from stress, erratic eating, poor posture, and constant connectivity suppresses its signal, leaving minds alert and bodies tense long after the lights go out. In one Yale study, those who practiced deep diaphragmatic breathing stimulating the vagus nerve fell asleep 20% faster and reported significantly deeper rest. It's as if sleep isn't something we chase, but something we surrender to when we silence the internal alarms. And yet, the vagus nerve is just one piece. The map to true effortless sleep is ancient, scattered between breath, warmth, and time. Next, we uncover the forgotten instincts that once lulled us into sleep beneath stars, now buried under concrete and habit, waiting to resurface. Before alarm clocks and bedtime apps, our ancestors followed a rhythm older than language itself. Called circadian anchoring, this natural synchronization came not from schedules, but from openness to the environments, unlight by day, darkness by firelight. That rhythm sculpted the body's internal timekeeper, the suprachiasmatic nucleus, and tuned it to the pulse of the earth. But modern life disorients this ancient compass. Concrete ceilings replace open skies, thermostats erase temperature drops that once signaled nightfall, and the silence of twilight is drowned by the artificial hum of civilization. One study from the University of Colorado found that after just a week camping without artificial light, participants' sleep cycles realigned, melatonin surged earlier, and their bodies returned to a primal harmony, lost in urban sleep. The revelation? True rest is less biology, and more memory and ancestral instinct veiled by noise and neon. And as these lost fragments of sleep culture begin to re-emerge, a final question lingers in the dark. Are we ready to remember what our bodies never truly forgot? There is a place between wakefulness and dreams where the body begins to let go, and the mind surrenders control. Sleep scientists call it the hypnagogic state, but for centuries, mystics deemed it a doorway to the soul. In this liminal space, the heartbeat slows, the muscles release, and patterns of thought dissolve into fragments of memory and imagination. Yet for millions tonight, that door remains locked. The true sleep hack is not a gadget or pill, but a return. A return to darkness, to breath, to rhythm, to the habits that once protected us when nightfall meant peril and sleep was sanctuary. In embracing warmth at night and cold at dusk, in restoring silence and honoring tiredness without shame, we don't optimize sleep, we reclaim it. Because sleep is not something broken to fix, it is something sacred to remember. And the question echoing through the stillest hours is not how we lost it, but whether we can ever truly trust ourselves to find it again. For Ashley, and countless others, silently battling against the night, the truth is less about productivity and more about survival. The science is clear, yet society races in the opposite direction. We valorize sleeplessness, glorify hustle, and scoff at rest. Sleep has become a casualty in the war for achievement, but buried at the intersection of ancient instinct and modern science is a profound revelation. No supplement, no tracker, no alarm can mimic what's encoded in us. True sleep comes when we remember who we are beneath the noise creatures of the earth, not machines of progress. And perhaps, in the quiet that follows this knowledge, we reclaim what was never truly lostly misplaced in the shadows of our innovation. So tonight, as the world hums with sleepless ambition, as millions lie awake under artificial light and rising cortisol, there is a choice, not a quick fix, but a reckoning. To dim the screens, slow the breath, and invite stillness like an old friend. The most powerful sleep hack is not something we do, but something we allow. Every ancient rhythm, every biological signal, every forgotten breath still lives within us, waiting patiently to be remembered. And in surrendering to that call, in choosing rest over resistance, we do more than sleep, we heal, we return, and we finally remember what it means to be whole. In that moment of stillness, when the synthetic world goes dim and the primal world stirs beneath the surface, sleep becomes more than rest, it becomes rebellion, a gentle protest against a culture that demands constant motion, constant output, constant noise. Ashley doesn't need another study or another pill. She needs permission to stop, and perhaps that's what we all require. Not more hacks, but fewer obstacles, fewer late-night scrolls, fewer caffeinated second wins, fewer reasons to ignore the whispering fatigue that begs for mercy. Because when the lights fade and the silence returns, the body knows exactly what to do. No algorithm can replicate that wisdom. No trend can replace that trust. In the end, sleep is not a mystery to solve. It's a truth to remember and a rhythm to come home to, and that home has been calling us back all along. Somewhere between the ticking clock and the aching mind, a final truth lingers: sleep is not lost. It is waiting, not in apps or answers, but in the quiet rituals we abandoned. In dim rooms, in steady breath, in the courage to turn away from the digital blizzard and toward the dark that once kept us safe. For Ashley, and for all of us, the journey back is not through optimization, but through remembrance. One exhale at a time, one dusk at a time, one moment of surrender at a time. The greatest sleep hack was never a discovery, it was a return to something sacred we nearly forgot.